last year, when with the special teams preparing, this year preparing to play. It's just a great opportunity.
How much pride does this defense, when you lose that many guys to the NFL, first rounders, or just guys that graduated but contributed? I don't know what outside expectations were, but I would imagine you all thought you could be as good as you were last year. Is there pride and ownership, though, of this group playing about as well as last year and, undefeated right back here in the playoff?
Yeah, it's the standard of Georgia. We play great defense. It's always the next man up. No matter, even last year, some guys went down and guys stepped up. And that gave us confidence going into this year that guys are going to play and play the standard that is required here.
How do you maintain? Obviously there's great players all over the defense and there's great coaches, but how does Georgia maintain that standard every year? Is it the system or is it just the people that run the system?
We say we win games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because we practice physical, we practice the right way.
I actually just asked Zion this, that I've heard more guys talk about those Tuesday, Wednesday practices this year. Are they different, or is it just sort of people realizing maybe that is in so many ways the key to Georgia's success?
It's the coach says all the time it's the key to the game. We win the game on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's kind of a different mindset on those days. Thursdays we're trying to perfect everything, and then Tuesdays, Wednesdays we're physical and just trying to get all the coaches say the warm fuzzies out.
So, when you first get to Georgia, how long does it take to get to where you can handle those 2 days? Because I'm sure they're a lot harder than anything you dealt with in high school. I
feel like we're prepared. especially early enrollees that came in spring. It's like that every day. In spring and summer, they prepare you for the season.
Chaz, I think most people would say, who are the 5 hardest workers on the team? And you would easily be one of those 5. When did it click for you that you could play? Everybody's got that welcome to Georgia moment where I can play with these guys. When was that for you?
When coach just threw me in with 2s and 1s. My spring, I played a lot of snaps. We had guys out my first spring, and it was obstacles coming over. Not used to the linemen like big Mims and all the big guys. Once you're used to that, the game kind of slows down.
I want to ask you about your tattoo on your arm. I know that's kind of very special to you. It's a great story. How does that inspire you? Why did you want to get that done?
My dad, he had 2 massive strokes. He was in hospital for 8 months in ICU, and I had to fight through that. It was COVID too. Just watching him that whole time kind of inspired me. I was like, he gave up this much time in his life for me. I'm gonna make something that means something for him. And just tattooed my whole right arm, everything based on him.
Your work ethic, all that comes from that, right? That makes you the football player you are, your work ethic. Is that what you think you owe a lot of your career to, is the inspiration from your dad?
Yes, sir. In the Army, not really coming from much. Going to college, going in the Army just to go to college. He went through a lot and kind of showed me how hard I have to work in life.
How much you still think of it? Is it every game? Do you bow your head? Do you have some sort of ritual when you connect with your dad for every game or anything like that?
You don't ever not think about somebody that passes, anybody that has a parent that passes. It's not a day that goes by you don't really think about it.
Awesome. Getting back to this game, when you look at Ohio State, did anything in particular stand out? Obviously Stroud's a fantastic quarterback. What do you see when you kind of looked at some film and all that?
They're a great team overall. Most people think they're just a passing team, but they can run the ball too. They got tools in the backfield, and then you have Stroud with the receivers on the outside that are great players.
Is there an SEC team is there a similar SEC team that you guys have played?
There's great teams, SEC and the Big Ten. I wouldn't really compare either or. They're both just great teams.
Sometimes from the outside, trying to get a handle on your defense, one of the hard things is you have so many good players. It's like, oh my God, you're supposed to figure these guys out. I'm trying to get some superlatives. Who do you think is like the strongest guy on this defense?
Probably Jalen Carter.
with Jalen? He's just like blowing people up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you see it in the games. He's running straight through 300-pound man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane what he does.
It seems insane from the. I mean, you guys see it every day in practice, so
Yeah.
okay, that's good to know. Who's the fastest guy, do you think?
I mean, we have a lot of track stars. I mean, it seems like every guy on defense was a great track star in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, also you have to look at the DBs.
Yeah.
There's Kamari, Malachi, Keeley. I mean, all those guys can run.
Yeah. Who do you think is the smartest?
Our middle linebackers.
Okay.
They have so many checks they have to do. Pop and smile, all that room. Everybody in that room is just smart. You have to be to play that position.
Okay. And like, what's it like when you have? I don't know. I guess you're used to it, right? But sometimes I cover Ohio State, so it's new to me, right? I've been watching you guys all year, but sometimes you watch you guys and it's like it's almost hard to understand the talent level that you guys put out there, and then the second team is like seems almost as good as the first team. What's it like in practice? What's it like just during the course of the year in the weight room when you guys are working this hard and you know there's just this much ability and talent on this defense and like what the potential for that group is? What's that like to live like that?
And it gives you. Sorry.
You're good.
It just gives you confidence.
Yeah.
You know, we can have all the time in the world, but, you know, one thing that makes us special is we're connected as a defense. We have each other's backs. It gives you confidence to do your own job.
So, like, when you're lined up on the outside, and, like, Jalen is just to your right sometimes, right? What is that like? Because you know, what, two guys are going to be worried about Jalen, maybe a third, right? Sometimes to help out a little bit. I mean, how many doors does that open for you?
I mean, it opens doors for the whole defense. I mean, it gives lanes for other guys to have one-on-ones. You know, it's even maybe a one-on-one for him, even for three people. I mean, he just does what he does, and he brings the attention that he deserves because how good he is.
How much of that is, because we can see the physical, but you can sort of experience his, you know, smarts with football and all that. How much of that is his game because he just knows what he's doing so well and knows what the other team's going to try to do?
I mean, he's been playing since he was a freshman. I mean, he has 3 years under his belt. I mean, he's been playing the SEC for a long time. Anybody that plays in the SEC for that amount of time is going to be a great player and knows what people are going to try and attack him.
What was it like watching the film after the LSU game in the moment when he's picking up Daniels and holding him like a 5-year-old? What was that moment like in the film room?
I mean, just on the field at the time, guys were amazed. But I mean, that's him. That's his character. He makes plays. It's just him.
Thanks, bud. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Chaz, you're a strong guy. How hard is that to do? Like, have you ever thought, hey, next sack I get, I'm going to hoist the guy? Like, how hard would that be to do physically?
I mean, pretty hard. I mean, as you see in the pictures and in the game, even offensive line we're trying to hold on. And he still picked him up at the same time. That's real hard to do.
Chaz, what's it like every year when a new wave of talented freshmen come in? Because, I mean, your position, the outside backers used to be 6'2", 6'3", Nolan, Mikhail, you, Robert, maybe 6'4", and then Marvin comes in, 6'4". And what's it like every year when, like, new levels, 6'5", new levels of talent come in? Did you shake your head and you're like, these guys would have to be amazing, otherwise they wouldn't be in Georgia?
I mean, obviously, guys have talent when you come to Georgia. They recruit the best. But, you know, it's every freshman has to learn the system. Everybody's going to play slow until they have confidence in this defense. I mean, we just try and keep it standard with everybody that comes in, no matter the size. It's just about the dog in the fight.
Is that the number one requirement to play at Georgia? Do you think it's composure? Do you think it's toughness? Which one of those four character traits of the program you think are the most important?
I mean, all of them are important, but to play on our defense, you have to be tough. You have to play the run. You have to be composed at practice every day just to go through what we go through. You have to be resilient to go through what we do in the offseason. I mean, and you have to be connected to, because you see these guys 300 and however many days out of the year. These guys are your brothers on the team.
Chaz, going back to the tattoo, when did you get that? Was it freshman year? When did that pop up?
I started with the tattoo when he got a stroke. And then after that, my freshman year, before my freshman year, I got half a sleeve. And then this off season, I got the rest of my sleeve.
Did he ever have any hopes for you, Georgia? Did he tell you anything while he was still with us? Did he say, like, show me the play? Or, like, what if he could see you now? What do you think he would think of what you've made of yourself at Georgia?
We were just starting with the recruitment progress. Had all the offers at the time, but we hadn't narrowed much down. I was 16. He had a stroke, so it wasn't really much of a talking about where we're going. It's just trying to enjoy the moment at the time.
Obviously, you guys are always trying to put pressure on a quarterback. When you're going up against a quarterback like CJ, how much more of an emphasis is there on that?
Just trying to get pressure on him. He's a great quarterback. He has great touch. Anything we can do to pressure him is going to be great for us.
You mentioned like that composure. Like, what's maybe that balance of wanting to always put pressure on CJ while also making sure that you're staying within the bounds of the play?
He has legs. He's a great passer. People don't really give him enough credit. He can get out of the pocket and scramble out and make great throws. Just trying to keep him in the pocket and try and make him play for us is always the standard to go against any quarterback.
When you're watching Paris Johnson and DeJuan Jones, what stand out about those guys as offensive tackles?
Their size. Both of them are really big tackles. Great players. Obviously, first team, second team All-Americans. They're just great offensive linemen. It's just going to be a great challenge for us.
So have you guys gone up against any offensive tackles who really compare to them in terms of size this year?
Our own. I believe we have a great offensive line. We prepare for the best every day because we're against ourselves.
Chaz, when you guys lost to Bama last year, what was the vibe like in the locker room? And what was kind of sad? Because it's a disappointing moment, but you still made the playoff.
Yeah.
So how did you guys maybe handle that? Did anything change in preparation leading up to the Rose Bowl after you lose a game like that?
I think we learned more in that loss than we did in all our wins. Most people say you learn more in your losses, and I feel like we did that game. And we learned what we didn't want to feel again after that game.
And playing Bama again at that point is a hypothetical, even though they are in the playoff with you. And I'm pretty sure you guys were probably being asked questions, what if you get a rematch against Alabama? How do you it's in the back of your head, obviously, but how do you put that to the side and maybe focus on what's actually right there in your face, even though that carrot is kind of hanging there, maybe going forward?
It's just focusing on the next opponent. We don't look ahead to anybody else. We're just focusing at the task at hand. We're practicing for that team we're playing for, and we don't practice for anybody else.
Chaz, you talked about learning from a loss, but how do you guys learn from winning every game? And what do you take away from that? How hard is it to pinpoint the weaknesses or things you need to fix?
By setting standards, setting goals, run yardages, pass yardages, third downs. We take pride in every stat that we have on defense.
Is that the standard is mostly numbers-based, or is there more to that?
Numbers-based and just playing hard as a defense. The effort level is a big thing for us.
So what's that like to win a game and automatically be like, we got to analyze this, was this good enough? Is it sometimes hard to enjoy the wins? What's that balance like to be having this undefeated season, defending national champs, but then knowing that you always have to hold yourself to the standard?
It's just a great place to be. Coming out of the game, we always know what we did bad and good. Going in that locker room, we already are judging ourselves. We watch the film the next day. It's just a great environment to be in because you never get complacent here.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Of course.
You got lucky, man. Everybody loved it. You don't have to worry about it. What's it like? What's it like being around?
I mean, it pushes you to go harder. You got to compete at a high level every day, or it's these guys beat you. It's just makes you a better football player.
Is it? Do you ever like think about like I really made it here? Like I'd like to ask all of these guys. I didn't have a chance, but like all of them. Like, if you look at the talent like behind you on the depth chart, you look at the talent like around you. Like, do you ever think about like, I'm a part of that?
I mean, you can look at it. Obviously, there's a time and place to do it. The off season, you can go look at it. You can think back on it, but I think if you look at it too much, then you will start to be cocky. You'll start to think you don't have to work as hard and stuff like that. And it's just something that pushes you a little harder.
You guys do like a ridiculously good job of walking that fine line between cocky and confident. Do you feel that too?
I feel like it comes with hard work. I mean, with all the hard work you have, it's confidence that we can go out there and do what we want to do.
So you feel like you earned the right to do it?
I feel like depends on how we practice, we go out there and we play how we practice.